Hey guys, National Master Sean Lei here with another exciting, amazing chess video for you guys today. Today we're going to be looking at one of the best counters that I believe you can play if your opponent begins his chess game with the move 1f4. Move 1f4 is called the Bird's Opening as it was created by the Grandmaster named Bird back a long time ago. Now, F4 is not a move that many people should be playing, especially at the beginner level, because for the most part, it weakens your king, and as you will see later on in this video, Black can take advantage of it in one of my favorite Gambit opening lines here for Black. So, what does the Bird's opening even do? If you're playing the Birds at the intermediate advanced level, your general plan is to take advantage of these dark squares. How? You're probably going to just disregard Black's moves. Try to control the dark squares like this. You're going to have all your pieces control the dark squares. And in the end, you will have something like this, a strong grip. Now, this opening is not the strongest opening, as I said before. It doesn't really fight for an advantage, as Black gets to do whatever he wants on his light squares, and White just wants to take advantage of these dark squares over here. However, today I'm going to be showing you a new variation for Black that can take the unsuspecting White player out of his theory. And this is an opening that I've played myself against many strong players. So 1f4 is played, and I like to play this gambit 1e5. This is called the Fromm's Gambit, and it's very, very powerful because it aims to take advantage of this weak diagonal over here. So generally, your opponent takes, you play d6, and they take again with bishop takes. Now already here, your opponent can already blunder. By playing knight c3, they already lost the game because of queen h4 check. If they block with g3, which is forced, queen takes g3, pawn takes g3, you sacrifice your queen, but you won your opponent's king. Life is pretty good. Life is fun. So your opponent can't be playing useless moves like knight c3, so instead what most of them play is knight f3 to defend h4 and g5 and controlling the center nonetheless. So what I like to play here are there are two things I like to play. I like to play g5 and the other move is h5. Both of these have very similar ideas, so let's go with g5. g5 has a very simple idea. I'm just going to chase your knight away, and if you don't play the proper moves, for example here, we have the same threats as before. Queen check, 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 check. One of the strong points of this opening that I really enjoy is that even though this opening is can be quite dubious at times, you're always going to be the one who will be putting pressure on the opponent's king. If he doesn't play properly, he will lose pieces, or he will lose the king, and he'll get checkmated. So what they can play is probably after, instead of knight c3, because knight c3 is just bad, is you can play g3, and you can play moves like h5 with threats like h4. And if they play something like knight c3 again, you can play h4, and if they capture here, you have this very cool idea in which you don't capture back with any of the pieces, but you move the pawn forwards, attacking the knight, telling the knight to go away. If the knight comes here, you just take here, attacking the knight again. But if the knight just goes over here or something, you have the checkmate here again. As you can see, the whole point of this opening is to take advantage of this weak diagonal that White created on his very first move. Again, I do not recommend you guys, if you're playing on the White side, to play this Bird's opening, as it's an opening that usually people of high rating would play, but even then, it's not too common. So that's that. If your opponent's here, of course, the best move here is probably d4 with the idea of plopping the knight over there. If we play h4 and he captures here, probably knight here. But even in these positions after capture, 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 even though we may be down a pawn in these variations, these two pawns are not very strong. We have more development, a very strong rook, and we're going to be capturing the pawn back very soon. So these positions are very playable for Black. So g5 is strong because it has a simple idea that is hard to parry for White. So let's say we want to play the other variation. h5 is a cool variation because it can lead to very cool games. A lot of people play g3 in these variations because they don't want the queen coming into h4 because g3 protects them. And it seemingly stops h4 because of knight takes h4 here. But here I want you guys to pause your videos and try to think why knight takes h4 is generally not the best idea here. Alright, I'm going to assume that you guys paused your videos, but before you do all that, if you guys are enjoying this content so far, if you guys love this video, please like and subscribe by pressing that like button and subscribe button below. Now back to this question, the best move, if you guys hadn't thought about it yet, is just rook takes the knight, and if pawn takes back, the same idea over and over and over again. So they can't really capture here with either piece because of the same idea rook takes. So, but they still have to defend this pawn. Moving it forward just loses it. So what players may play is rook g1 to defend the pawn, but we can play capture, and we can play this cool idea, this cool decoy rook to h1. The idea is if you capture here, checkmate on this weak diagonal. If they play rook g2, which is probably the best move, you can play bishop h3, threatening this and threatening that. If your opponent plays rook g1, you can capture here. It's checkmate again. So they can't do that, and they can't lose their rook for the same reason, so they might play rook f2. But here you have a checkmate basically in 2, or your opponent loses lots of material. Pause your videos, try to figure it out. So I'm going to go straight to it. Bishop takes here. If rook captures, you have this very simple checkmate on g3 because this rook cannot block because it is pinned right here. So again, the From's Gambit over here is what I really do enjoy because it gives you lots and lots of attack with the very simple idea of taking advantage of your opponent's weak diagonal. This is also the same reason why we don't generally want to move the f-pawn or the g-pawn when we're playing chess, especially in the opening, because our king can get very exposed, leading to very detrimental positions, as we've saw here. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys want more Gambit ideas and more cool opening tactics like these, you can always, as I said before, press the like button, press the subscribe button. If you guys want a more super interesting video on my top 3 recommendations for white that are Gambits, press the video below. Or if you guys just want to practice your tactic skills, you guys can press the video that shows up there. I hope you guys enjoy, and I hope to see you guys around very soon. National Masters Sean Lei signing off.